scary, overwhelmed, defeated, broken. These are all thoughts and feelings I've had women tell me that they experience after being given the diagnosis of having a prolapse. My name is Nicole. I'm a physical therapist and a mama, and today I just want to make prolapse seem a little less scary. One of the first things that you should know about prolapse is that you want to start with basic awareness of your core and your pelvic floor if you want to start treating prolapse. I'm not going to go into that in a lot of detail in this video because I actually have two different videos. I'm going to put them up here above. I'm also going to link them in the description about ways that you can belly breathe. So your inhale and your exhale, where your belly goes out and your belly comes in and your pelvic floor goes out and your pelvic floor draws in. And you really have to be aware, like when I inhale and exhale, what is my stomach doing? What is my pelvic floor doing? And get all those things working together so that it becomes like a well-oiled machine. After you've done that, then we can start moving on to exercise. When it comes to exercise, things that are really important are that you, first of all, get a stronger core and a stronger pelvic floor, or a more functional pelvic floor, I would say, because sometimes our pelvic floors are too tight, or, sometimes there's different things that can be going on with your pelvic floor, but you need to have a good awareness of what your pelvic floor is doing and tighten it when it needs to be tightened and relax it when it needs to be relaxed. Then we need to build up our abdominal, our back, our glutes, make sure our hip flexors are good and stretched out. We need to get stronger. So it starts with very basic things. So when I say core strengthening, I do not mean crunches. In fact, crunches could actually make your prolapse worse, because when you crunch up, you build up pressure in your abdominal cavity, and a lot of times that shoots your organs out through your vaginal opening, and you do not want that. That is making your prolapse worse. So what you want to do is start with engaging your core in ways that is not building up a bunch of pressure. And really, all exercises could be made into core exercises, in my opinion. If I'm standing here and I'm pulling a band apart, and especially if I'm kneeling or standing, it takes a lot of core strength to maintain my balance and my posture. And I'm not doing any type of a crunch. You wouldn't even think I'm working my abs, but if I have my deep abdominal muscles engaged, then I'm not going to fall over or twist or hunch over when I'm doing that arm exercise. And now I'm working my arms and my core. And we don't want to just stop at core. We want to eventually get our whole body stronger and get back to activity, because these are all in combination going to make your pelvic floor stronger and your prolapse symptoms managed a lot better. Something that I suggest to women often when they tell me that they have prolapse and they're feeling intimidated by it or overwhelmed, write down a list of what makes your prolapse worse. What activities do you feel like you can't do anymore, or are hard to do, are painful to do, you're scared to do because of your prolapse? And then we're going to think about ways to modify those things. Let's say you like to go for runs with the stroller, but when you do that, you notice a heaviness in your vagina. Okay, let's try running without the stroller. Let's try running and avoiding hills. Let's try running a shorter distance, or let's pull back on your speed. Maybe do all four of those things. Maybe just change one of those things. And then during the run and afterwards, think about, okay, did my prolapse feel like it was worse? Were my symptoms worse, or were they better? Another thing that you can do is to think about activities that are more like body weight training. So think about box jumps. You used to like to box jump. When you do that now, it literally feels like things are falling out. Okay, what if you did a high step onto the box? So you step up with your right leg, step up with your left leg, step down, step down, step up, step up, step down, step down. If you did that at the right amount of speed, you could still get a pretty good workout in. Or maybe you just cut the size of your jump in half. Maybe you just jump on the smallest box instead of the larger box. Maybe it's jumping jacks that give you troubles. What if instead of like a full up and down jumping jack, what if you leaned against a wall and did jumping jacks? That way you're still getting your heart rate up, you're still getting the cardio effects of a jumping jack, and you're progressively making your pelvic floor stronger during that activity, but it's not that force on your pelvic floor right out of the gates. There's lots of ways that we can modify activities when we have prolapse. And a lot of times it doesn't necessarily matter like, oh, how, I need to go to my doctor and have them tell me what grade or what degree, my prolapse is. Well, it doesn't necessarily matter if you don't have any symptoms. If your symptoms are interfering with your ability to function, then absolutely, let's address that. Let's modify activities. Let's get a lot stronger. But if someone's telling you that you have prolapse, but you're not noticing any incontinence or any other symptoms, then maybe it's not as big of a concern. It's not a worry. It shouldn't hold you back, I guess is what I want to say. We can't control what makes us worry, but maybe it shouldn't hold us back from activities as much anymore, because it's really not as damaging or as interfering as we might have thought when we just heard the word prolapse. The big takeaway today is that just because you have prolapse, it doesn't mean you should stop doing the things you love, and you shouldn't feel defeated by it, because there are lots of ways to work through it, to get stronger, and to minimize the symptoms of prolapse. And if you're having trouble still, even after the tips I've given you in this video today, and you really want like guidance for your particular situation, like what are things that I can do specifically to improve my prolapse, reach out to a local women's health physical therapist that has training in pelvic health, or I do virtual consults, and you don't even have to be in my area to have something like that done. So check out the link below if you want to get in touch with me. I might even be able to find someone in your area that could help you address those things. We are happy to really look specifically at the activities that you love and enjoy and show you how you could modify them, meet you where you're at, do an assessment of your pelvic floor, and make recommendations for how you specifically can get back to doing the things that you love. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you like this video today. It helps YouTube share it with all sorts of women. I don't think there's enough information for women out there when it comes to these things that we deal with our pelvic floors. So I want to get this information out to everyone. That is why I post videos every single week. And when you subscribe to my channel and you hit that little bell, it'll actually send you notifications when I put out new videos. And I don't want you to miss any of them. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you all next week.